Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JT and you're watching Black Box Trading. So happy to have you here. Man, did we call it? Did we call it or did we call it? You know, while everybody was calling for lower levels, while everybody was saying that, you know, tariffs are going to screw over the market and we have nowhere to go but down, we were one of the few channels saying, no, liquidity is coming. The money printer is going to turn on. And I think we are approaching a low. Even in yesterday's show, we confirmed the breakout. Since that breakout, let's just cue it up. Let's just cue it up. Don't trust, verify. So this is what we said in yesterday's show. So this is a breakout. Official breakout here. So we were undecided as to how we wanted to look at this. We were on the fence that this was looking like a clean breakout when we broke this downward sloping line of resistance back here, and we had this really slow motion flag. The flag has broken out. What does that mean? From the low, this is the flag pull. Here is the bull flag. If we pull that up, the targets are going to be at least 95 based off of the flagpole. If we go from the area of the breakout or the high, we're retesting 100K. So I don't expect too. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are en route. We're gonna retest 100K. This is the move. This is the move that carries us to an all-time high break. And that all-time high break will be a successful all-time high break, and we will reach we will trigger a new impulse to probably 160 is what I'm guessing, $170,000. So basically a 100% move off the lows. And from there, you might see a little bit of a pullback, but phase 2 of the bull market is starting. I am bullish. I am bullish, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is it. And we were calling it even down here. I tried to take a trade down here. I was in a trade, got stopped out. But anyways, we're long and strong in the spot markets. You know, this move will never get away from us. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. Beautiful, beautiful, solid candle. If you were in the VIP group too, we had a couple people asking me, you know, are we going to get a pullback? Are we going to get a pullback? Bitcoin has this annoying habit. And when you've been trading Bitcoin as long as I have, you will notice that when it's a true impulse move, and that's why I have so much confidence in this move right now. When you are on the true impulse move where we are going to create a new high and a new level and a new range, Bitcoin breaks out and it doesn't pull back. It does these bye, see you later type moves. And that's exactly what we are looking at. You know, Bitcoin's done it so many times. Like this, bye, see you later, just continuous impulse move. Like it didn't slow down till at least a 40% move. It did it back here as well. You know, I guess you could call that a pullback, but people were probably expecting it to retest some level. Bye, see you later, 90% move. Over here, this was a really good one. This is when we took our main bear market positions. Bye-bye, see you later, no pullback. 30-40% move. That's when people start to buy. That's when people start to FOMO in. And then you get the pullback. Bitcoin's a bitch, man. Learn to trade it. Learn that that she is a fickle bitch, and she will test you. She will test you. That's why it's good to just always have some exposure. Never go all in. Never go all out. Well, when I say never go all in, I mean never go all in with the expectation that your next move is to come all out. Scale in. If you are bearish, take some off the table. This is my experience, you know, not financial advice, but I never close 100% of the position. You know, I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I'm always going to have exposure. I'm trying to stack some more sats with a couple of these volatile moves, but ultimately I'm pretty much always long Bitcoin. She will test you, not some level. Yeah, she'll test you, not some level. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's catch up with the chat. All right, Google email account is asking, why is Deep and Sui pumping so hard? We'll have to circle back to that when we get to the altcoins segment. Narmison is bullish as well. 34 people watching this content. Please leave it a like. Do the subscribe, do the follow, do all the things, share it with anybody. You know, we're not a paid channel. We never will be a paid channel. We have our own financial products that we offer, but that's all that we offer. We never take paid ads. We have a free Bitcoin and crypto. It's been Bitcoin for the most part, but the altcoin season is coming, so it will be a cryptocurrency trading Discord as well. If you guys aren't in the Discord, what are you waiting for? It's free. All you got to do is, if you take one of the trades that we provide for you, all that we ask is that you do so on one of our partner exchanges. That's it. That's the whole catch. It comes at $0 extra to you. You have to buy your altcoin or your Bitcoin from some exchange. All that we ask is that you buy it from our partnered exchanges. That's it. That's the whole catch. So if you do that, you get access to a thriving community full of several professional full-time traders that trade this market every day and make a living off of this market. And you also get access to the trading bots. Let's open up the dashboard as well. A lot of the bots, pretty much all of our bots are tuned bullish, and we have a couple things to mention here. So down here in strategies under spot, hopefully I don't lose too many of you, but black box has been resurrected over the last 5 years. It has returned 3,800%. So definitely go check out. This is our high time frame, slow investment style bot. This is basically buying and selling bull market. It's buys bull markets, sells bear markets. It, like, in the 5 years, it took like 12 trades. Super slow and steady wins the race. So definitely go check that one out. And then on top of that, one thing in the futures section that we want to make note of is we're getting really close to being bullish on Bullbox. Bullbox, for those who are already in it, is in a ridiculous trade, one of the best bot trades we've had. It's just, that's what Bullbox is for. It's for holding on to these really long trends. And Bullbox made an entry down here at oh no, it entered much earlier. Yeah, it entered down at 80 and we're at 93. Fantastic trade on Bullbox. And this is how Bullbox is going to perform moving forwards. When we flip this wave from red to green, let's get the alphanumerics indicator up here for just a moment. When this bear market bias flips from red to green, like it did here, red to green, massive rally, that's going to be a really good trading environment for Bullbox. So if you guys have been on the sidelines on Bullbox or waiting for the right market conditions for our most bullish futures trading bot, it's getting close to the time for Bullbox. And shout out to those who had position in Bullbox already, because Bullbox is in a banger of a trade. What do you think about the resistance at 95K? So yeah, let's take a look at some resistance points. The thing is, when the conditions are right, and I'm going to sound like a complete permabull by saying this, but you have to believe that, you know, I've traded this market for a very long time, and I'm very dialed in with Bitcoin's behavior. Guys, when the conditions are right, Bitcoin doesn't have resistance. Like, and I know that sounds freaking ridiculous. But, you know, if we have a pullback, the pullback is going to be super tame. It'll be just like a fraction. You know, if you're doing fib extensions, let's actually do a fib so I can explain exactly what I'm talking about here. We'll pull a fib. I never pull fibs, but let's just have some fun here. You know, if a moderate pullback, oh, that's way too hard to see. It's way too hard to see. Okay, well, maybe you guys can see that. So if a conservative pullback is the 272, that's the best you're going to get. The absolute best that you're going to get as far as a pullback. And then, you know, the more traditional pullbacks are going to be your a 382 or your 0.5 or your 618, it's not happening. It's not happening. When the conditions are right, Bitcoin moves. So if we were to pull back here, you would be looking at a pullback back to 91, maybe. And the thing is, all of the bulls are going to be stacking orders around that 91 level that it won't hit the line. It will not hit the line. So it'll go above the line. The bulls will just show up, and it'll probably do anything at 92. And that's if it pulls back. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is in up-only mode right now. It doesn't happen very often, and it usually happens when the market is really drained. They're very tired. They're losing interest. You know, I've seen all my numbers decline, YouTube numbers decline. Sentiment in the YouTube comment section is getting toxic and spicy. I have a lot of indicators that say to me that Bitcoin is entering into the fucking see ya phase. It just goes into up only. Now, we have also been saying here on the channel that M2 money supply is, gold has been really reflexive with the M2 money supply, the new issuance of new currency expansion. And Bitcoin is also reflective to M2 money supply, but there's like a 70 to a 100 day lag. We are experiencing up only. And let me show you exactly what we can expect as far as price action. Let's go and turn on M2 money supply. Now, where people get trapped and where people get screwed over in these types of moves is they try and chase it with leverage. And so they're like so fixated on a pullback. Guys, you know, not financial advice, but you should be spot long and like fuck the entry. Who cares? Like get spot long. This is a big move. This is the beginning of a very large move. Not financial advice. Don't come at me if it pulls back. But in my opinion, this is a big move and it's going to result in all-time high breaks. Let's bring this up to the existing pane above. Let's bring that down. This is what we're expecting. Let's go to the weekly chart. So you can see the lag. Expansion of the money supply. Bitcoin lags by about 70 to 100 days and then expands. So look at this move. This is the move that we're in right now. So that's, 20% in M2 above the high, 20%, that's 140. I think Bitcoin's more reflexive than that. So it'll probably do what I'm saying, 150, 160, 170. This is the move. Where's the pullback? Where's the pullback? You don't see a pullback until the prior high is taken out. This is just an up only move. Up only, baby, up only. Then you get a small little pullback, that does not retest the high and continues on its merry little way. This is a good show. I'm incredibly bullish. So, yeah, it's time. If you are sitting on the sidelines and you are like, nah, this shit's going to 69, I don't know how to help you. I really don't. I've been trading this market for 10 years. Coming on 10 years. And this is the way that Bitcoin moves. This is how Bitcoin moves. This is what Bitcoin does. This is so Bitcoin, it's not even funny. And people are going to be so fucking annoyed because every day is going to be a green candle. Every day they're going to be like, well, it has to pull back now. Well, it has to pull back now. I got to get in now. It's got to pull back. And it's just not going to happen until at least the all-time high break. All right. I've beaten that point. I've got everybody to FOMO smash by. Mission accomplished. But let's move on here. So what do I think about the 95% resistance? I think it's going to be weak. Weak at best. Bitcoin dominance is flat, I guess. Yeah, we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Chart is dropping. Yeah, we'll take a look. Man, you sound bullish. I am bullish. guys, this doesn't happen very often. As an exercise, because all the videos are there, I'm not going to pull them up. I'm not going to, make a compilation video of every time that I get this excited. But I got this excited here at 18K. I got this excited here at freaking 30K. I got this excited here at 70K. I feel the exact same way I felt here, here, and here. This is the move. This is the move. This is the all-time high break. This is the beginning of altcoin season. This is the beginning of phase 2. This is FOMO season. This is when new money comes in. This is when your estranged cousin from 20 years ago DMs you on Facebook Messenger. This is when your neighbor says, hey, you still into that Bitcoin thing? This is when everybody at work is just like, so how do I create a Coinbase account? You've been talking about Bitcoin for years. I think I'm ready. Like, this is the phase. This is the phase that we are entering into. And as a reminder, let's all cool our jets here. Let's all cool our jets. It's going to be short. It's going to be unfairly short. We're talking a couple of months. This move is going to lead to the market cycle top. And the market cycle top is going to happen this year, in my opinion. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but in my opinion, the market cycle top is going to come in this year. So it's going to be exciting. And it's going to be fast. All right. Time for Bitcoin dominance. What's Bitcoin dominance doing? Keep printing, man. Keep printing these higher candles. I'm sticking on the weekly. I'm not looking at the daily. I'm sure it's a red candle on the daily. I don't care. I don't care. We're sticking to the weekly here on Bitcoin dominance. I need to see some weekly red candles before I'm getting interested into a rotation. You want to be patient with alts. You don't need to front run an alt. Really, you don't. Bitcoin is rallying. If you're in Bitcoin, what are you chomping at the bit to get into an altcoin for? Bitcoin is working for you. Just let Bitcoin cook, man. Let Bitcoin cook. Leave it alone. Then when the rotation is undeniable, the rotation is in full force, convert some into a very small basket of altcoins to get that leverage on Bitcoin. Sounds like you're pulling back on 300K plus targets, though. No. So the thing is, I'm trying to create entertaining content. And an element of entertainment and an element of credibility is reasonable and rational thoughts. So if I tell you, Bitcoin's going to $1 million this year, does that sound reasonable or rational? Neither. It's not. It's a completely crazy thing to say. I'm going to keep that shit to myself because it doesn't do me or this channel any favors. I also think it's possible. It's possible. I know that makes me sound crazy, but I don't care. I don't care. So, we're going to throw a couple easily digestible numbers out there so that the herd, so that the no coiners or the low coiners or, these fiat maxis can process the information so that I can come across as somewhat credible. Because if I come across like the fucking insane Bitcoin maxi that I am, I'm going to get, people aren't going to listen to me. They're not going to take me seriously. So we will see. I don't care what the price is. I care what the event is. Okay. So Bitcoin is going to continue to rally. It is going to turn this red wave into a green wave. That green wave will carry us through a bull market. That green wave will turn back into a red wave. When that green wave turns back into a red wave, I will be out. And Bitcoin will be at some price. And that price, in my opinion, is going to be anywhere between $200,000 and $1.2 million. It's such a big range because Bitcoin is fucking crazy. I don't care. I don't have a target. There is no target. There is an event. And the event will have a price tag attached to it. What face will be heading for? What face will be heading for after market cycle top? What face will we be heading for after market cycle top? Hughes, you want to adjust that one? I don't think you're communicating properly. Market cycle talk, even for stocks. Yeah, I think it's the stock market that's going to pop the crypto bubble. I think the equity market is overvalued. I think the real estate market is overvalued. I think everything is overvalued. And when the crypto market stops, it's going to be stopping as a result of everything else crashing. That's my opinion. That's how it stops. I don't think that the reason the Bitcoin top comes in is going to have anything to do with Bitcoin. I think it's going to have to do with bigger things in the market. Imagine BTC is the White House and everyone was bearish. Okay, so it's not quite time for alts, but we are seeing little exciting moves. Somebody requested to take a look at SUI. Why is SUI pumping so hard? Well, it's got a green day for sure. It's got a couple green days here on the Bitcoin pair. 13% move, 10% move. I think you guys have forgotten what altcoin pumps look like. Because yes, this is a bullish move. No question about it. 20% in a day, 10% in a day. Those are bullish candles. But, when the altcoin's ready to go, it's going to do that every single fucking day. It's going to do 30% every day. And do crazy bonkers stuff every day. So yeah, we're still bearish. Why? Bitcoin dominance is climbing and we are below our line of resistance here. So if you want to get into SUI, go for it. I have done very well this cycle to wait, and I'm not going to give up on a winning trade. Bitcoin has been the winning trade this cycle. So I'm going to ride that horse, baby. Ride that horse until it's more than abundantly clear that altcoins are seriously having an extended and prolonged period of outperformance. And yes, this is a beautiful candle, but it's not a sustained outperformance. This is a recovery at best. So not yet. Not for me anyways, but you do you, boo. And then you also mentioned some other obscure one that we're not going to take a look at deep. I don't know, something to do with SUI, I'm sure. Immutable X having a nice day too, but look at zoom out. Oh, IMX is pumping. Yeah. Yes, and it's also pumping off of the crypto abyss. It's wallowing in a pile of pig shit, and it has pumped this pathetic little bit out of the pig shit. So it's not time. We can get excited with the numbers. The daily P&L numbers are exciting, but let's put things into perspective here. These are bullshit recoveries. XRP has also outdone this cycle. Has it though? This is where, Mauricio, I'm going to point something out to you, because a lot of people get really confused. They think they make measurements off of the lows, and they don't take into consideration the amount of multiples that are required to rally off of the lows to make it to a break-even price in Bitcoin. let me kind of break that down. So let's go to XRP USD. So here's the prior cycle. We'll just go from the prior cycle. And from the prior cycle high to this cycle low, it declined 85%. Okay. So let's take that, and then we'll also take from the low to the high. Actually, we'll go from the low to current price so that you can get a perspective as to where we are today. 683%, okay? 683. We'll just call it 700. Let's just remember that. 85% down, 700% up, okay? Now we go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's prior cycle. It went from market cycle high to market cycle low, 77%. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. Pay attention. From the market cycle low to the current price, 500%. Oh, XRP is outperforming. No, it's not, because you haven't measured from where XRP fell to. So going down and bringing the price of Bitcoin down to, what was it, 86? 85.4. So bringing it down to 85.3, and then bringing this down to 85.3, 800% move. Bitcoin is beating XRP by 100%. This is the trap of altcoins. This is what nobody takes into consideration. That 10% more equated to nearly a doubling of extra price performance, because whether you can only go from 100 to 0 when you're pulling back, but you can go many multiples above, and it's an exponential curve. So if you pull back 90% and Bitcoin pulls back 70%, you have to rally like 500% just to get to the low of Bitcoin. So don't fall into this trap of measuring off of the fiat, especially the fiat lows. Don't measure off of the fiat lows and say XRP is outperforming, because when we do the math, XRP is not performing. XRP has caught up, but it's still lagging by 100%. I know a lot of people don't like it when I do math and point out that XRP is not as good as everybody thinks it is. But, if you're DCAing in and you are, doubling down on your position at the breakout, then that's the difference between the asset performance and your portfolio performance. If you're trading to get ahead, then yes, pound for pound on the upside of XRP, then you could have had the opportunity to outperform Bitcoin, but you will have had to have added, and XRP itself did not outperform, but your portfolio may have. Can you please check the huge volume on Neo? Oh my God. Taking me down memory lane here, Hughes. Memory lane in Neo. You remember Ant shares? Let's see if you're an OG. You remember Ant shares? Do you know what Ant shares are? Trip down memory lane. Neo. Very well could be a spring forming. You want to take a look at the volume. Yeah. Now, so from a Wyckoff perspective, you're right. This looks good. But it's not enough to just draw a trading range. Now, one of the laws of Wyckoff, I should have this queued up for these, but Wyckoff is a 5-step process to determine the strongest stocks. So, it's a stock trading strategy. It's a way for you to determine the strongest stocks inside of an index, inside of a market sector. Now, NEO has no demand. Nobody is buying NEO. Nobody is speculating on the future of NEO. NEO isn't making any new developments. NEO is pretty much a zombie chain at this point. So right off the bat, it doesn't pass the first filter of Wyckoff. People get so hung up on the Wyckoff trading range and look at the Wyckoff events. That's not Wyckoff. There's a 5-step process to the Wyckoff method. And one of the last steps is the trading range and identifying the events inside of the trading range. That's the last step. The first 4 steps are there for you to identify the strongest assets in a sector, the strongest assets that are outperforming the index. So if we do an overlay of NEO and add total 3, is it outperforming the index? No, not even close. So, we can look at the volume spike and we can speculate this, that, and the other, but the fact remains the same. Inside of the sector, in the last year, NEO is down 70% and the index is up 20%. So it doesn't even pass phase 1, which means from a Wyckoff, Richard D. Wyckoff would not touch NEO. Richard D. Wyckoff would be like, no, NEO's done. It's not outperforming the index. Whereas when you pull up an asset like Solana, Solana's not. Let's see what else. Let's try XRP. Is XRP outperforming the index? Yes. So XRP is. So in the last year, when we're trying to use the Wyckoff method to filter out all the noise, because there's 10 million coins. You need to take a look at the ones that have demand and that are outperforming the index. And you want to position alongside the strongest assets. So from a Wyckoff point of view, Richard D. Wyckoff would not touch NEO. It wouldn't make it. He wouldn't get to the point at which he is drawing a trading range around that. But if you do want to trade it, you can, because the bull market will make everything go up. It will make everything go up. I just don't see a world where NEO is going to pass this line. It's never going to hit an all-time high again, in my opinion. And you would be lucky to get up to this level, in my opinion. The volume is huge, but it doesn't matter. It's huge compared to what? You have a volume spike compared to a dead zombie chain. High volume doesn't mean volume is context. Okay. You need to attach price data to the context of volume. If you don't do that, then you're going to misread volume. Volume is a very interesting topic, and it's something that you can dive really deeply into. But, a perfect example is Bitcoin's move here, Bitcoin's most recent move. Everybody was saying, including myself, let's be cautious of this area right here because the volume's a little bit low. Was it here? No, it was over here. Let's be cautious of this because the volume is low. But I also said, if Bitcoin continues to tick higher on low volume, that means that the bids and the asks in the order book are stacked in favor of the bids, meaning that there is more demand than there is supply. So I was able to identify, because of low volume, that demand was higher than supply. And it's only when the volume kicks in that you kind of get the confirmation of your bias. So volume is very nuanced. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at volume, but when you're looking at a coin like NEO that has very, very, very low volume most of the time, and then all of a sudden it gets a big volume event, that can be so many different things. So I'm not saying NEO can't rally. I want to be very clear on that. I'm not saying that NEO can't rally. I think NEO is probably at a floor, and I think that it's going to continue to rise to higher levels. And I think that NEO can do hundreds of % from here. I just wouldn't pick it. I wouldn't pick it because I think that there are better opportunities in the market. And that's it. That's it. That's the long explanation of my thoughts around NEO. There's a privacy coin that was forked from CryptoNote back in the early days, as Monero was, but is performing surprisingly well. Nano. But yes, exchange listings are difficult. Yeah, I think we are ending the days of privacy coins because Bitcoin has so much more privacy now. Since segregated witness and since Taproot, we've added so much private functionality to Bitcoin transactions that Bitcoin's becoming really private. If you want to be private on Bitcoin, transact on the Lightning Network. It's fully private. Or better yet, do it on Liquid. Liquid Bitcoin is fully private. There's absolutely no context to Liquid Bitcoin. And then there's going to be more privacy built into the base layer of Bitcoin as well. And then once we get into the whole world of covenants and everything, like Bitcoin's going to be really private. So I don't know. Nano. And Nano is also kind of culty. They really have this Bitcoin evangelism type attitude. And in a bull market, that can be great because it convinces a lot of new and naive people that are coming into phase 2 of the bull market that this is something that's going to rally. But ultimately, nothing is better than Bitcoin. Fundamentally, nothing is better than Bitcoin because of a numerous amount of reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But I think, again, it can do well. Is it a is it a leading asset? No. It's not. It's not a leading asset. It has a good narrative. It has an excellent community. And there's a lot of potential for price rally, but I don't think it's ever going to reach a new all-time high. So for that reason, I'm out. Let's Shark Tank this bitch. Again, ETH, really good question. So I look at ETH from the perspective of the Bitcoin pair. I think ETH will bounce. Yep. I think ETH will absolutely bounce. But I also think that ETH's all-time high this cycle is going to be probably around this level. Let's be a little bit more generous. So ETH's all-time high will be somewhere in here. Now, let's be very clear here. That's over 160% gain in Bitcoin terms. So if Bitcoin rallies 1,000%, it will rally, oh God, public math, 2,500%. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's right. So there's plenty of rally here, but there's also a trend that you can't ignore with Ethereum, and that's that its all-time high was here in 2017 at 16 million sats. 16 million sats, and then in 2021 it was 8 million sats, half of that. So if we do go by halvings, it'll be 4 million sats. Now, I'm giving Ethereum the benefit of the doubt that it can actually do better than half of its prior high. And I'm going to say that it can go to 5 million sats per ETH. But that's the current downtrend in ETH. So none of this has to do with fiat value, right? Like the fiat value of ETH back in 2017 was a couple $100. The fiat value in 2021 was, $1,500, and it was like $4,000. So the fiat value goes up, but its ability to outperform Bitcoin continues to go down and down and down. So if we see a really strong bull market in Bitcoin, which I think we will see a really strong market, bull market in Ethereum, but it will ultimately land at a lower high in Bitcoin terms. Do with that what you will. It's entirely up to you whether you care about that. You will make more Bitcoin by trading Ethereum if we bounce off of this level. Just don't fucking hold it. Ethereum's gone, guys. It's dead. It's done. It's dead. It's done. But I did hear on the fundamental side that they're changing their economic model again. This is the thing about Ethereum, is every time, you know, something's not working, they fork the chain to make it better. It's not ultrasound money. It's ultra fragile money. And the last time they fucked with something really big was back here when they went to proof of mistake. And when they went to proof of mistake, Ethereum went into down only. Now they have this new thing. I can't remember the name off of the top of my head, but it's basically going to bring more money back to the main chain for all Ethereum scaling solutions. So all EVM compatible blockchains will be providing more transaction. It will be settling on the main chain somehow. I don't know what that means. I only just heard about it, so I haven't dissected the whole change, but they're changing their monetary policy again. So if this is the last time they changed their monetary policy and it went down, if they change their monetary policy again, it could go up. But ultimately, you know, the market only has so much patience for bullshit, and changing the monetary policy every couple of years and then calling it ultrasound money is bullshit. So eventually people will catch on that, you know, you're better off just saving in Bitcoin because Ethereum doesn't hold its value. And if you can't save in it, if you can't save in the blockchain that you love, then it's useless. Do you see Track Network going this year? I think it'll be close. Do you consider buying BTC mining stocks like Mara? Fuck no. Me personally, no. I'm a Bitcoin maxi, dude. I don't touch any fucking stocks ever. I do not touch stocks. I do not touch anything that's denominated in a fiat currency. I hold Bitcoin. I trade my altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, and I trade futures contracts on the Bitcoin margin. I don't touch Tether ever. I don't touch another nation's currency. I only hold my wealth in a sovereign currency. So you will never catch me trading a stock. Doesn't mean that you can't make money. You know, you do you. I will not touch it. Oh, the market cap. Oh, because they're launching to a mainnet. I thought you were asking, where do I see Track Network? Where do you see Track Network? I misread that. So Track is moving to mainnet. That's what I thought you were asking. I thought you were saying, do we think that Track's going to go to mainnet this year? And I think it won't go to mainnet this year. And market cap, no clue. No clue. Here's what I think is going to happen with Track. Track is going to cross the excited line. That's the line where I become excited. It's going to cross the excited line, and it's going to begin to rally. And it's going to begin to rally in a very nice way. And then eventually, the Bitcoin chart, the green wave, because it will be green at that point, the green wave on Bitcoin will flip from green to red. When the wave on Bitcoin flips from green to red, Track will have a price and I will be selling it. I have no idea. I don't do price predictions. Price predictions are for YouTube clickbait. I do event actions. Price predictions are useless. Market event actions are gold. That's how you make all the money. If you create an anchoring bias, you're going to you're going to screw yourself over because you're like, oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. Oh, there's a little bit of a dip. Then you're in complacency. Then you're in regret. Then you're a bag holder. So action-based events in the market to determine what my actions as a trader are going to be. And the last thing that I consider is what's the price. And it's not even really a consideration. It's more like oh, cool. It's, track got to $20, track got to $200. That's crazy. Wild. But I don't care about the price. It's like, what's Bitcoin doing? And what are my actions as a result of Bitcoin's moves? Maynard, get into the Discord, man. Hop into the Discord. We tried to get you verified. Let's try it again. We'll figure it out. I'll verify you. Hop back into the Discord. Come back. Didn't mean to scare you off with all the complexity. We're going to rework our entry requirements on the Discord so that it is a little bit easier. We're trying to find this balance between making it easy to get into the Discord, but keeping scammers out. Very important to keep scammers out. We want the Discord to be safe. So we're trying to strike that balance. So sorry it was complicated for you to get in. Come back in. We'll get you verified. When could we see full altcoin season? I'm going to say June. I think altcoin season is going to be lagging Bitcoin performance by about a month. So maybe 2 months, but we'll see. We'll say about a month. So April, like we've said numerous times here on the channel, April, let's go to the monthly chart. April is a month of repair, and boy, oh boy, did it repair. Phenomenal candle here for April. Exceeded all my expectations. This is a bullish 3-bar reversal. So May is going to be a banger. May is going to be a banger month. So, and that's what we've said for months now. We said May is probably going to be the acceleration candle, and we'll see new all-time highs in May. And with this April, clean April. So if that's the acceleration phase for Bitcoin, and I believe that altcoins are lagging by about a month, then we could expect the acceleration of altcoins to be in June. Let's actually take a look at total 2, I guess. Total 2 on the monthly. It's nowhere near as good of a repair, and we're not even broken out above the highs here on total 2, but we're close. So this candle, if this candle closes below this candle, the body of this candle is a bearish candle. If we can't get a bullish engulfing candle, let me rephrase that. If we can get a bullish engulfing candle for the close of this month, then altcoin season will probably arrive in May. If we can't, it will take a month of repair of the trend for it to catch up to Bitcoin. And that's what I think is going to happen. I don't think this candle is going to, I don't think that this is going to end up being a super bullish candle. I think it'll be a bullish candle, but not like a holy shit, the trend has reversed candle like we're seeing on Bitcoin. And so as a result of that, it will take another month, and that next month will be like, okay, alts are ready to go. And then once you get that confirmation month, so the monthly close of May, once we hit June will be the acceleration for alts. So June, July, August, September, October, maybe. Altcoin season dies in October. That's what I'm thinking. The music stops playing September, October, maybe November. It's going to be short, guys. It's going to be short. But Bitcoin's going to be at stupid fucking prices. Is May not sell in May and go away? Or is that just some boomer stocks? So it usually is the case, but context is everything. Sell in May and go away means that you are rallying into May. we have not been rallying for the entire year. Let's just take a look at the S&P, because this is a really good question and I get it often. So where's the beginning of the year? Beginning of the year is right here. We haven't done jack shit from the beginning of the year. It's been down only in the equities markets. Sell in May and go away means that you are rallying into May. And once you reach around May, people are like, well, that was a good, couple quarters there, quarter and a half. I'm going to sell. And then the market tanks from there. The opposite happens in this context. So now we're going to hit May and the bulls will stay. So we'll hit May and May will be the acceleration, in my opinion, because the global liquidity cycles are heading into currency expansion. Quantitative tightening is easing. We may even get quantitative easing. The global liquidity cycles are, like I said, in currency expansion. So this year, sell in May and go away will not be a thing, in my opinion. Context is everything. This was sell in the beginning of the year, and May you're in the clear. I don't know. We'll come up with some stupid thing. See, that was the pullback. You guys are going to hate it. You're going to hate it if you don't buy it. I think that was the pullback. This little fucking stupid little red candle here was it. And people aren't going to call that a pullback. And then they're going to be like, why isn't Bitcoin pulling back? It's not going to pull back till an all-time high, in my opinion. Pump in May, bulls will stay isn't bad. Yeah. Pump in May, the bulls will stay. All right. We've been yamming around for a while now. Tron, keep looking at Tron. Now, Tron's certainly a laggard. I don't think it is. It's certainly not showing an outperformance, but the fundamentals of Tron are really interesting. Tether's making waves, man. Tether's doing some really cool shit. I'm going to make a video actually about ocean mining. Entertain me for a moment here while I nerd out about mining decentralization. There has been a fair criticism towards Bitcoin in the sense that people are concerned about the centralization of mining pools. And it's been a fair statement. The mining pools are totally centralized. Now, the two biggest mining pools are Antpool and Foundry. Now, we're very lucky because Antpool and Foundry is US or China and the US. Those guys aren't going to cooperate. But if two pools equate to more than 51%, they have the ability to censor transactions. They don't have the ability to do a double spend or anything like that would fuck up the network, or they're certainly not incentivized to do that, but they do have the ability to censor transactions and decide which transactions are valid. Now, with ocean mining, it gives the power of the block template back to the miner. And this is really powerful because it ultimately ensures that if you are an institution that may not be getting along with the world, or if you're just, a country that people want to fuck with, like the US is a great example. Oh, if the US is going to adopt a Bitcoin strategic reserve, then let's try and cooperate so that we can pause or interfere with US based transactions. That would be something that these pools could do to collude on and stop. But what ocean mining does is they give the block template back to the miner. So there's a difference between a mining pool and a mining farm. Inside of a mining farm, let's say you're an American mining farm. You have the option to point your hash rate at the Chinese pool. If you want to do that, you can. You would probably want to point it at Foundry, but let's just pretend you wanted to point it at China. But with ocean, you get to control. So if you're mining and you're like, I don't want to support ordinals, you as the mining farm can decide to exclude ordinal transaction. You, the mining farm, can choose to exclude Chinese-based transactions. So all of the power goes back to you. And instead of us having like 5 main mining pools, we completely decentralize and we have thousands of pools, because now it's not about the pool, it's about the miner. There are thousands of mining farms. There's a couple pools. There's like 5 or 6 major pools. There's more, but those are the dominant ones. So we're going to go from this 5 or 6 centralized hash rate over to thousands and thousands of different block templates. Now, what Tether is doing, I don't even know what started this conversation, to be honest with you. This is quite the tangent, but what Tether is doing is Tether mines a shit ton of Bitcoin. And Tether is going to future-proof themselves by pointing to ocean mining and ensuring that they have at least 0.1% of the hash rate. They're going to try and maintain 0.1% of the hash rate so that they can be certain that if push comes to shove, if all the miners decided to block Tether for whatever reason, which doesn't make sense, but let's just pretend that they did, they would at least get through 1 out of every 1,000 transactions in theory. So really exciting stuff for Bitcoin. That's a big win for Bitcoin. That's a big win for decentralization. It'll take probably a few years to fully play out and have a lot of the mining pools migrate over. It doesn't take much for them to it takes literally 5 minutes for them to point to a different pool, but people don't want to mess stuff up. So, it'll probably take a while, but yeah, it's a really cool thing that's happening. And I don't know what that has to do with Tron, but Tron has a lot of Tether on the network, and Tether is making some pretty interesting waves. Tether is not going anywhere, and I think that Tether is going to be a really big narrative. Tether is going to be a very important company to push global adoption of cryptocurrency. Like it or not, they just are. They're going to be the reason that there's more cryptocurrency adoption than any other company. It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Tether. Pains me to say that, but there's a lot of people in the world that don't give a shit about freedom money. They just care about access to good money. And when you compare a Bolivarian peso to the US dollar looks like pretty good money. Anyways, I think that the whole Tether thing is going to be a big narrative. And if that is the case, then Tron can be a beneficiary of that, because most of the Tether that exists in the world exists on the Tron network. Just a fundamental little food for thought for those who are thinking about looking for value plays out there. Learn from May, never sell. I like that too. All right, I'm going to wrap things up here because we've hit the hour mark. Before we get out of here, go on over to blackbox.pro. Get into the Discord. It's free. It's time to get bull market ready. Don't fucking pay for these paid shield groups. Don't get locked in. Get into a group. Get into a community. It doesn't even have to be mine, but get into a community where that the people in it aren't paid shills, because we are entering the fastest, most exciting portion of the market cycle. We are entering phase 2. You need to be fucking locked in. You need a good place where you can ask questions, you can protect yourself, learn from people who have been in this market for years and years and years, and take the advice of experts when it comes to navigating not just trading, custody of the assets, moving of the assets, transitioning from an old incubation chain over to the main net, and anything that is happening in the cryptocurrency degeneracy that is about to happen over the next coming 6 months. You're gonna need a platform. Ours is free. We're passionate. We're dedicated to seeing people succeed. We have trading calls, entries, exits, take profits, all that shit. We have trading bots for you to use if you want to. But more importantly, we're a community and we're here for you. And if you have dumb questions, we got answers. There's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. So if you're looking for a supportive community, I'm very passionate about this. We are here to help. So with that, thank you all for joining in. It has been a pleasure. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.